Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm checking out the 2100 lumen Claris XT2 CR Pro. Let's check it out. Alright, there we go, the Claris XT2 CR Pro, and let's open the box here. And I'll tell you, I'm really digging this separate compartment design here. It keeps everything nice and organized, separated from each other, and right here we have the flashlight in the holster, which is really appreciated. I like that. And inside this box here, I'll take everything out. In this bag here, we have our standard lanyard and replacement O-ring. Charging cable right here, which is USB Type A to USB Type C. And right here, they have the user manual. And you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of this style of holster here. Just Velcro flap here, a plastic D-ring on the back, and then a quick release for the belt here. So pretty standard stuff. But right here, we do have the new Claris XT2 CR Pro. And if this would focus, that would really help. And I'm gonna give you guys a nice close-up here, and while you guys are checking this out, let's talk about some of the features. So the Claris XT2 CR Pro has a maximum output of 2100 lumens with a peak beam distance of 240 meters and a peak beam intensity of 14,400 candela. And pushing out those 2100 lumens is the Cree XPH35 HD LED. The body here is made of 6061 T6 aluminum alloy and has a Type 3 hard anodized finish. It features 4 lighting modes plus SOS and strobe, and it also has 2 user modes. And controlling those lighting modes is the new 5th generation dual tail switch. And inside they have a 3100 milliamp hour 18650 3.6 volt lithium ion rechargeable battery. And that battery sits on dual springs inside the body here. I also tested out other 3.6 volt 18650s from other manufacturers, such as PowerTac, Phoenix, and Olight, and they all worked. Basically every 18650 that I tested out in the XT2 CR Pro worked. It has an impact resistance of 1 meter and a waterproof rating of IPX8, which means the dust proofing wasn't tested, and the 8 means it's submersible up to 6 feet. And it also features a 5-year warranty. So what about the dimensions here? It has a length of 5 inches, a head diameter of 1.1 inch, and a body diameter of exactly 1 inch. Now on the website they say it weighs 4.9 ounces, that's 139 grams excluding the battery, but I think that's wrong. Because by my weight test, that's basically the weight with the battery. So I got 4.9 ounces, 140 grams with the battery, and without the battery, I got 3.2 ounces. That's 90 grams. All right, guys, so let's talk about the Claris XT2 CR Pro for a second. So this is my very first time checking out a Claris flashlight. And overall, I think it's a pretty solid light. The build quality is excellent here. So we have the 6061 aluminum with the Type 3 hard anodized finish. And the grooves here in the center of the body, while pretty standard, offers a pretty nice grip. It does come included with the lens down pocket clip with a split ring, as you can see here. But you can't just easily pull it off unless you loosen the tail cap here. And I really like this design. I haven't seen this too often where if you want to take the pocket clip off, you have to loosen that tail cap. But when this thing is on, this sucker's going nowhere. And now I'll give you a look right down the barrel here at that Cree XPH35 HD. And if I get in real close, you can see that textured lens in there. That's pretty cool. And then they do have a crenellated bezel here for defense. This is actually really nice. It's not very sharp. It's not aggressive at all if I get in real close and show you that striking bezel. And I like the color too. It's more of a grayish color instead of the standard silver that we always see. Right here, yes, we can charge this light externally with the included USB Type-C charging cable. And then right next to that charging port, if I press the light on, you can see the LED battery life indicator right there. And now let's take a look at the 5th generation dual tail switch design here. And I really like what they did here. They have the main on and off switch right there on the top, but below they have a pedal-shaped mode switch, which I really like. And yes, I did say it's the mode switch, but it does have its own function altogether. And I'll get into that when I start talking about this flashlight's UI. But as you can see here, that tail is not flat across. So if you want this to tail stand, you are out of luck here. And talking about the UI, let's get into that. So I really like the UI that Claris has here. So the main power switch here goes right to turbo, and I really love when flashlights do that, especially tactical style flashlights as they claim this is. So a half press on that main switch will take us to momentary 2100 lumen turbo. And then of course a hard press will lock that in. And now to cycle through the modes here, we just press that little pedal button right underneath, and there are our 4 lighting modes. So that's turbo, high, mid, and low. And as you can see here, there is no memory, which I love in tactical flashlights. So if I have it on low here, turn it off, turn it back on, instantly goes right back to turbo. So now let's check out this pedal button right here. So if I press it and not hold it in, it goes right to that 10 lumen low, which I think is really great. So we have instant turbo and instant low with the dual tail switches back here. And instead of going from turbo to low, as you saw in the main switch here, if I press and hold to lock in that low, it goes in reverse from low to high, from low to turbo, as you can see right here. So it goes from low, mid, high, and turbo, which I think is really cool. And there's also no memory, so if I hold that down and turn it off, turn it back on, goes right back to that low. So this is one of the better non-Anduril UIs that I've seen in a while. And yes, there are 2 user modes, the outdoor mode and tactical mode. We've been in the outdoor mode. So I'm gonna stay here in outdoor mode for a second while I show you how to get to the SOS. So what you have to do is turn it on and then press and hold that pedal button down for about, I don't know, 3 or 4 seconds, and there we go, there's our SOS mode. Now SOS is only 100 lumens, it's not gonna take advantage of the full 2100 lumens here. So what about strobe? There's no way to get to strobe from outdoor mode, so what we have to do is we have to turn it over to tactical mode. And this is where it gets a little goofy for me, because I've seen other reviewers say you just have to hold down this pedal button here for about 5 seconds, and that just doesn't work for me. What I've had to do was hold this down for 5 seconds, and then this will flash red and green, as you see right there. And then I pressed the main button here, and now, now we're in tactical mode. And you can tell we're in tactical mode because now that pedal button is now strobe. And then to switch it back, of course, you just do the same thing, turn it on, hold down the pedal switch, and you'll go back to outdoor mode, which I know most flashlights have special button presses to switch user modes, but that is not my favorite one. And now let's talk about output and runtime here. So we have turbo, high, mid, and low. So low's at 10 lumens, and that can run for 150 hours. And then the next jump is mid at 100 lumens, and that can run for 11 hours. And then we go to high at 400 lumens, that can run for 4 hours. And then let's look at turbo here, 2100 lumens, then it says gradually to 750 lumens, 2 minutes plus 2 hours. So that's saying turbo will last for 2 minutes, and then our step down to 750 will last for another 2 hours. And then of course right there you see strobe at 2100 lumens and our SOS at 100 lumens. So that's what I want to test out here. I want to see if that 2-minute turbo is accurate, and plus I want to see just how hot this head gets, because just having this on turbo for a few seconds, this head gets fairly hot. All right, so like I said, I'm gonna let this run for about 2 minutes and see if I can see the step down. And then after the 2 minutes, I'm gonna take its temperature. So let's see if I can do this at the same time. Usually I'm pretty good at it. And all right, go. All right, so there's our 2 minutes. So at the head here, okay, 12. It's 112.2 at the head after 2 minutes. And then at the body, looking at 103.4. And there was definitely a step down in there. I can't tell exactly with my naked eye, but in the edit, I'll be able to tell you, and I'll pop that on the screen right now. So now it's time for the fun stuff, the beam test. So I'm gonna take this outside to my local park, and I'll show you what the differences between the high and turbo look like. So that's enough talk. Let's go. All right, so what do I think about the beam test? So it's a lot floodier than I expected, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I was expecting more of a spotlight just based on the shape of the reflector here. But that being said, the hot spot was really nice and the overall spread was decent. There was a pretty nice fall off on the outer edge of that beam, so overall, I really like the beam profile here. Near the end of my test, those trees that were set back really far, they're about 200 feet away. This can hit about 240 meters, so it was hitting those trees just like I expected. But it was also lighting up that field like crazy just because of how floody this beam is. And at the very end of the test there, I was showing you the ground shots just because I wanted to show you the different levels and what that beam looked like when it was only about 5 feet away. So would I recommend the X-T2 CR Pro? Absolutely. Overall, I think this is a pretty nice flashlight and I love the UI. And going back to that UI, I really love the fact that you can hit instant turbo and instant low straight from these dual tail switches right here. There's a few things I don't like though. I don't like that there's no moonlight. I really wish that this pedal switch went right to a 1 lumen mode. So it would go 1 lumen moonlight and then 10 lumen low, mid, high, and turbo. And I don't like the goofy way you switch user modes, but that's almost every single flashlight that I review. And the last negative that I have here is I really wish you can tail stand it. I do tail stand my lights a lot at work, and just the fact that I can't do that on this flashlight kind of limits it. But overall, I think this is a pretty solid choice of a flashlight, especially at $74.95. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. What do you guys think of the Claris X-T2 CR Pro? If you want to check this out for yourself, I will have links below in my description box. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe. And go!